Jewish Capital EPO 5 Part 1. The Media Political Nexus and Strategies for Sovereign Autonomy. Welcome. This is the final episode of our 5-part series on American Jewish capital. Today, in our series finale, we will examine the hidden connections within global media and political networks, and discuss strategic conditions for sovereign autonomy and self-reliance. In a multipolar world, concentrated financial capital does not exert influence solely over North America, Europe, or the Middle East. Sovereign nations across Asia, Latin America, and developing regions lie deeply within its sphere of influence, while appearing outwardly as mutual economic cooperation or solid defense alliances. Underneath lies a complex web of influence across journalism, education, finance, industry, and culture. Let us first examine how this influence has shaped global institutions, and why public awareness remains limited. First, consider the structural opening of global financial markets. During the late 20th century, emergency economic restructuring programs, enforced by international financial institutions, led to the acquisition of core banking and financial systems by major global investment funds. Institutional capital firms like Goldman Sachs, Carlyle, and Morgan Stanley acquired major stakes in key national banks and brokerages. As a result, national financial systems were integrated into a global capital framework, prioritizing investment returns over domestic economic stability. Second, consider the structural organization of international news reporting. Major global news agencies such as Reuters, Bloomberg, and AFP act as the primary wire sources for national media worldwide. Lacking independent international reporting networks, regional news outlets heavily rely on foreign wire services. Consequently, editorial framings surrounding geopolitical conflicts are replicated globally, without independent verification, shaping public perception through a single lens. Third, consider the alignment of higher education and policy think tanks. Universities worldwide import Western-centric international relations, economic, and security theories through academic networks and foreign-trained faculty. Academic frameworks developed by leading financial intellectuals are translated and integrated into university curricula. National security institutes, economic research centers, and legal consulting groups often serve as key mechanisms, normalizing these frameworks as neutral truths. Fourth, consider influence over cultural platforms and media distribution. Major global media platforms including Hollywood studios, streaming services, search algorithms, and music distribution networks are heavily backed by international capital. Even independent cultural phenomena and creative content producers depend on global streaming capital for production and distribution, steering content creation toward models optimized for global financial returns. Fifth, consider the subtle influence on social values and governance frameworks. Without issuing direct directives, global capital networks have reshaped social norms. Market liberalism, financialization, and hyperglobalism stem from philosophical frameworks designed by 20th-century Western intellectuals. Societies worldwide adopted these concepts as absolute standards of modernization, gradually weakening local traditions and strategic autonomy. The implication is clear. Influence over modern societies operates not through physical coercion, but through soft power narrative integration, deeply embedded within thought, culture, economics, press, and education. This invisible influence shapes public consensus seamlessly. We may view ourselves as fully autonomous, yet function within a carefully designed system of structural governance. Now, let us examine the specific mechanics connecting media and political decision-making. This analysis avoids unsubstantiated speculation. Rather, it evaluates observable patterns within international political economy. While many sovereign nations maintain stable diplomatic ties with major powers, their media and political spheres remain exposed to structured influence. Over-reliance on foreign news agencies creates automatic editorial alignment. Major media organizations globally import content directly from Western wire services without independent field verification. When international coverage frames military actions through specific security narratives, regional news outlets adopt identical terminology, leading public audiences to view complex conflicts through a pre-curated perspective. Furthermore, dynamic alignment persists between national politics and international lobbying networks, as major arms importing nations maintain security alliances with the United States. Foreign defense lobbying operates with profound indirect leverage. Defense procurement decisions involving advanced fighters, missile defense systems, and reconnaissance technology represent multi-billion-dollar transactions with major contractors, like Lockheed Martin and Raytheon. During contract negotiations, foreign policy frameworks generated by pro-Israel think tanks and lobbying groups like AIPAC often function as implicit policy guidelines for ally nations. Similarly, diplomatic stances across many parliaments mirror pro-alignment platforms, identifying domestic security models with foreign defense doctrines. Moreover, political, journalistic, and academic figures trained in Western think tanks frequently absorb these frameworks uncritically, acting as soft power advocates upon returning to their home institutions. This soft power operates without explicit commands. It diffuses naturally through policy briefings, diplomatic papers, and international academic seminars. Conceptually, market liberalism is accepted as universal governance. International security norms are adopted as objective truths, and complex regional conflicts are framed to justify specific strategic alliances. To navigate this reality, we must train ourselves to read the origin of information and the underlying flow of capital.